Fishing for the Scales. Chapter 1, Fishing Boy, The Beginning of Destiny. In the north and south of the river, there is a small village called Yeoquan Village. Far from the hustle and bustle, the villagers work at sunrise and rest at sunset, living an ordinary and quiet life. However, in this ancient land, there is the extraordinary fate of a young boy. The young man's name is Xiao Yingcheng. He is 16 years old, his family is poor, his parents died early, and his only support is his elderly grandmother. On a day-to-day basis, he helped cultivate the fields and weave cloth for a small income. Although life is hard, he is always optimistic, often holding a bamboo pole in one hand, leisurely sitting by the stream next to Yeoquan village to fish. Until that day, everything changed. On that day, as usual, he went to the stream early to prepare for the day of fishing. Throwing off the fishing rod, the rope gently pulled with the current, and his heart was calm. Suddenly, a shrill metallic voice sounded in his head. Ding! The wild fishing system is ready to be opened. It was as if he had been struck by lightning, and the fishing rod in his hand almost came out of his hand. Xiao Yingcheng's eyes widened and she looked around, but she couldn't see anything. It's just that the voice is so clear that it seems to sound directly in his heart. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining a first-class exercise. Xiao Yingcheng was stunned. He looked at the fishing rod in his hand, and an inexplicable power suddenly surged in his heart. His gaze flickered slightly, and then he looked down at the surface of the water, and was surprised to find that there were some strange fluctuations on the surface of the water. What the hell is this? How can I hear this sound? He was a little confused, but the doubts in his heart did not disrupt his rhythm, but made him look forward to it. Ding! Congratulations to the host for getting a pet egg. As the voice sounded again, a small, shimmering egg appeared in Xiao Yingcheng's hand. His eyes widened, and it felt like everything was a dream. He couldn't explain the voice just now, but he couldn't ignore it. He looked down at the egg in his hand, and his heart was excited, but then a strange feeling came over him. This egg did not seem to be an ordinary object. Xiao Yingcheng held the egg tightly in the palm of her hand, feeling a warm force flowing. Just as he was immersed in these sudden changes, the rod jerked. Xiao Yingcheng's heart was shocked. He immediately retracted, and a trace of excitement flashed in his eyes. Chapter 2, The Awakening of Strength by Fish Becoming Immortals. Xiao Yingcheng lifted the fishing rod, and a strange power came from the water, and he was surprised to find that what he caught was not an ordinary fish, but a huge and abnormal golden carp. This golden carp glows throughout, its scales glittering in the sunlight, as if it has some mysterious power. Ding! Congratulations to the host for catching the golden carp and gaining 1000 XP. Xiao Yingcheng blinked, her heart racing. The aura emanating from this golden carp was extremely powerful, and he had never seen such a magical fish. The body of this fish seems to faintly reveal an extremely powerful force. This is fishing to gain experience. Xiao Yingcheng couldn't help muttering to herself. At this moment, the pet egg suddenly shook slightly, and then the light burst out, and the golden light instantly illuminated Xiao Yingcheng's palm. He only felt a wave of energy enter his body, and then, he felt an inexplicable change. Ding! Congratulations to the host, the pet egg hatched successfully and obtained the Sky Thunder Crane. Xiao Yingcheng's heart was shocked, and as the voice sounded, the egg in his hand actually cracked, and a snow-white bird jumped out of it, with shiny golden feathers on its back and eyes as bright as stars. This little bird, obviously, is unusual. This is my pet? Xiao Yingcheng looked at the bird in front of him in surprise. It seemed to feel its owner, flapped its wings gently, and let out a crisp chirp. Heavenly Thunderbird. The Heavenly Thunderbird has the power of thunder and lightning, and it can travel thousands of miles after it grows up, and it will thunder 10,000 times. This prompt tone shocked Xiao Yingcheng even more. He couldn't believe that his life could have changed so drastically. From an ordinary country boy to a sudden awakening to the fishing system and gaining great powers, he feels as if he has broken into a completely different world. However, just as Xiao Yingcheng was thinking, the golden carp suddenly began to move, its golden scales emitted a strange light, and then, its body suddenly shrank, turning into a pearl shining with golden light. Ding! Congratulations to the host for catching the golden carp bead, which can be used to improve the host's cultivation. Cultivation? A trace of confusion flashed in Xiao Yingcheng's eyes. He had heard this word countless times, but he had never really understood it. In this world, the strong often rely on cultivation to dominate everything. He hesitated for a moment, and held the golden carp bead in his hand. With the flickering of golden light, his body actually felt a burst of comfort, and the power that he had never felt before emanated from his body. Xiao Yingcheng suddenly felt as if he had gained some kind of magical power, and a new path seemed to appear in front of his eyes, a road to strength and to the peak. Chapter 3, The Road to the World, Against the Heavens. With the passage of time, Xiao Yingcheng's ability has become stronger and stronger. He is no longer the unknown teenager, but has become a figure that everyone in the village admires. His fishing skills have become more and more sophisticated, and every fish he catches, every strange pet, brings him a steady stream of strength. But in Xiao Yingchen's heart, there is always a question: why did he awaken this fishing system? What is the secret behind this system? And what does that golden carp have to do with all this? He decided to embark on a broader journey to search for the truth behind the world's strange creatures. And this road is destined to be full of challenges and adventures. Xiao Yingcheng gained more power in fishing again and again, and his pet, the Sky Thunder Crane, gradually grew up and possessed the power of Thunderball. Every fishing trip is an improvement of his strength and a tempering of his beliefs. Gradually, Xiao Yingcheng has become a legendary powerhouse from an ordinary village boy. And it all started with that accidental fishing that changed his life. Chapter 4, The ridge is exposed, and the road is narrow. Xiao Yingchen's name gradually spread among the villages around Yaoquan village, and as his fishing skills improved, the villagers became more and more respectful of him. Rumors of his golden carp beads and heavenly thunder cranes spread like ripples around, and countless people came to Yaoquan village just to catch a glimpse of the young angler. However, as the reputation solidifies, so do the challenges. One day, when Xiao Yingcheng was leisurely fishing by the stream, suddenly the sound of riding a horse broke the silence. Looking up, he saw a group of richly dressed young knights galloping from a distance. The leader of the knights was dressed in crimson armor, his face was gloomy, and his eyes pierced like sharp blades. This group of people did not hide their arrogant posture, which was obviously incompatible with the simple atmosphere of Yaoquan village. "You're Xiao Yingcheng." The cardinal looked coldly at the young man standing by the stream, with a hint of provocation in his tone. Xiao Yingcheng frowned slightly, put down the fishing rod in his hand, and looked up at the comer. He didn't know this person, but he felt a strong hostility. "It's Xiao Yingcheng below, do you have any advice?" Xiao Yingcheng remained calm and spoke calmly. The corners of the cardinal's mouth hooked up a disdainful smile. "I heard that you have a strange sky thunder crane and extraordinary fishing skills. Today I will try to see if these so-called talents are really as magical as rumored." Xiao Yingchen's heart moved slightly. This person was obviously not good. He hadn't deliberately publicized the news of the heavenly thunder crane, but he had already heard about it from the outside world, and the reason behind it made him wonder. "If you have any questions, I'm willing to answer them, but if it's a challenge, I'm afraid I'll disappoint you." Xiao Yingcheng replied unhurriedly, his eyes revealing a hint of determination. When the cardinal heard this, a trace of anger flashed in his eyes, but then he smiled and waved his hand to signal the knights behind him to come out. The men quickly set up a simple fishing platform around it. "Since you're so humble, let me see your fishing skills for myself," the cardinal said coldly, without the slightest warmth in his voice. Xiao Yingcheng did not get angry, but nodded slightly, turned back to the fishing rod, and sat down slowly. He knew that this provocation, once it began, could not be avoided. Instead of being angry, respond calmly. The two of them each prepared their rods and waited quietly for the fish to be hooked. There were more and more spectators around, and everyone was quietly watching the competition, looking forward to the result. Time passed slowly, and the competition between the two was at an impasse for a while. The red-clothed knight looked relaxed, but Xiao Yingcheng could see from his subtle movements that this person was not simple. His fishing skills are extraordinary, but they carry an unscrupulous power. Suddenly, the red-clad knight's rod shook, and the water surface turned slightly, as if a huge fish had snapped on. A smug smile tugged at the corners of his mouth, and he quickly withdrew the rod. "Humph, it looks like I've already won." The red-clothed knight looked at Xiao Yingcheng with contempt, his heart full of complacency. However, at this moment, Xiao Yingcheng's fishing rod also moved suddenly. With a splash of water, a golden fish surfaced, and it was the legendary sacred carp. The whole body of this fish exudes an unusually strong energy, like a living star, shining with golden light. Ding! Congratulations to the host for catching the divine carp and obtaining the special skill Vientian fishing method. Seeing this divine carp, the red knight's face changed instantly. He stared closely at the golden carp in Xiao Yingchen's hand, and the consternation and jealousy in his heart could not be concealed. "How is that possible?" "You're caught," he asked in a somewhat incoherent manner, filled with disbelief. Xiao Yingcheng smiled slightly. The golden carp in his hand let out a low roar, and his tone was flat. "This is my fishing skills, not an ordinary thing." Chapter 5, The Conspiracy Behind the Scenes, The Interweaving of Fates. The Red Knight was furious, and murderous intent flashed in his eyes. He snorted coldly and turned to leave. However, at this moment, he suddenly stopped and looked back at Xiao Yingcheng coldly. "You're just a country boy, why do you have so much power? There must be something behind it." The Red Knight's eyes were filled with heavy hostility, and his tone became even more gloomy. "I don't care what kind of background you have behind you, but I warn you that Yaoquan village has nothing to do with you, and if you disturb the peace here again, you will definitely regret it." Xiao Yingcheng replied coldly, with an inviolable momentum in her tone. The corners of the Red Knight's mouth rose slightly, revealing a sinister smile. Hee, do you really think you can threaten me? But now that you have the means, our feud has only just begun. With that, the cardinal waved his men back, leaving only silent threats and dissatisfaction. Xiao Yingchen's heart sank. He knew that although this competition was won, it was the beginning of a greater challenge. The hidden conspiracy and undercurrent behind it are quietly approaching him. However, no matter how difficult the road ahead is, Xiao Yingchen's determination has never wavered. He knows that only by constantly becoming stronger can he truly control his own destiny, catch the fish of destiny, and go against the sky. Chapter 6, A New Journey, A New Challenge. As Xiao Yingchen's reputation grew, he also began to come into contact with more anomalous powers and existences. Countless bizarre objects and powerful enemies gradually surface, and each adventure makes him stronger and brings him closer to the truth. He began to step out of Yaoquan village and set foot on a wider world, fishing for strange creatures all over the world, and gradually discovering the great secrets behind the fishing system. Every time you fish, you are improving your cultivation and fighting against fate. On this challenging road, Xiao Yingcheng knows that only by growing stronger can she solve all the mysteries and usher in her own true destiny. He is no longer the ordinary teenager, but a strong man in the future, who will catch the stars of heaven and earth and go against the sky. Epilogue. Xiao Yingchen's legend continues. Whether it is the challenge of a strong enemy or a more mysterious power, he will face them one by one. His future, as dazzling as the divine carp, illuminates his way forward.